get my 6. Shirts available on our Teespring shelf. Scroll down below. All right, guys. I'm going to get straight to these images first. For those of you who came here for the cover image and the title, so you can go elsewhere and start insulting other content creators about how this is fake, about how, what specific strand of mushrooms do you grow in your woods, and all these other things you do. Maybe before you go on and look at some car memes and stuff, all before, your mom calls you up from the basement telling you it's time to come eat, and you go up and have to get berated by your father about whether or not you even looked for a job today. All right, so let's get rid of you first by showing you the images, and then for those who actually have attention spans, I'll explain the story behind the images, because there's several after you see them. Here are the images. There are 5. The first 2, the prehistoric creature, potentially a pterodactyl, does not show up. Watch the images 3, 4, and 5. Number 3, it's as is. Number 4, I zoom in about halfway. Then number 5, I zoom in as close as I can. Here they go. Check out these images. All right, with that said, let me bid adieu to those of you who came here due to the title and the image, and go ahead, type down there about how, whatever, all the things that are wrong with me, and hurry up and just do it. Your mom's going to be calling you up to dinner soon, and you got to come up with an excuse as to why you didn't look for a job again today to tell your dad. Don't worry, Mama's got your back. She's not going to let him throw you out and go out and become a man on your own. All right, now, for the rest of you who are still here, we're walking backwards here up to the campground. We're practicing this particular technique. So here's the story behind those images, and whatever in the world that thing is that we captured. And there's, again, I was weed eating this morning. I kicked up some pollen on some stuff, so excuse the drips here. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose. All right, sorry about that. I hate to have any edits in a video like that, because if any of those D-bags hung around, they're down there in the basement and stuff, they love to go at you if you break a video up like that, because you got to blow your nose and you don't want to do it on camera because that's just gross. This video is edited. You stopped the video in time so you can put that thing up there. It looks like a potential Bigfoot Sasquatch. Yeah, that thing right there. No, bruh, I blew my nose, man. Go look at car memes. You saw your pictures. Get out of here. All right, so here's the story behind the pictures. Aren't those mimosa just absolutely beautiful? Those are the beautiful mimosa trees that surround our pond entirely now. And we've got some growing back here on the back tree lines. It's an indigenous species from India. A lot of people hate it. They cut them down. They call them weeds. But once they mature, as you can see, those blossoms are beautiful. They come out mid to late June. They stay on the trees till about mid to late July. They're only there for a month. Wow, what a beautiful... Here's our milkweed patch. I don't know if you can see them or not, but there are... So first monarch butterfly I see for the year, right back here. I wish I'd have brought my red circle, because it's definitely a monarch back there. Oh, and it smells so wonderful, smells so beautiful. So anyway, yesterday I was on the front porch, talking to one of my sisters for an hour and a half, had a great conversation, a lot of catching up to do, a lot more to go. And I was talking about how hot it was, because it was almost 90 degrees at the time, and she's like, why are you outside? Why aren't you inside? And I told her, I said, I know, right? Not just that, dumb hillbilly from Appalachia thing I got going on there for me, according to others who are not from the area, who like to look down on others for some reason, to feel some sense of superiority and like to judge people based upon where they're from. So not just that, you know, big ball of hillbilly from Appalachia, but it's because the mimosas are so beautiful. And I know they're only out for about a month. I just want to see them. So I'll sit out there and sweat and just stare at the mimosa. And craziest thing, I was telling her at the just strangest times of day, once at 10:30 a.m. a couple weeks ago, and a couple days after that, 2:20 in the afternoon, foxes just walk by around the pond. See deer, of course, all day. You see that giant bass. It's like 20 to 24 inches long in there, jumping around, eating bugs. So it's worth the sweat. So anyway, my sister told me she had never seen mimosa trees. She's still back in Appalachia, and I guess maybe they don't have them around there where she is. They need a little bit hotter climate, like down here in the motherland of Virginia. So I told her after our conversation I'd take some pictures of the trees around the pond and send them to her, which I did. That's where those pictures came from. So when I was sending her the pictures, that's when I noticed that oddity there, in that it would have been picture number 3 as they came up there. It's like, that's weird. What is that? That looks like a giant bird. And there's a blue heron that we have that frequents our pond. But when I was taking the pictures, I did not see the blue heron fly away. When that blue heron flies away or comes into the pond, I always see it. They're big birds. Whatever that was, I could not see it with my naked eye. The camera picked it up. My eyes didn't. So I zoomed in on it there as you saw in picture 4, and I thought, wow, it's shaped like a bird. How could that blue heron have flown through there and me not see it? So I zoomed in even bigger, and then that's when I saw that it was not a blue heron. The blue herons are a lot skinnier, longer, slimmer. Their heads are not nearly that big, and I thought, my gosh, that looks like a pterodactyl. Then I thought, wow, Crazy Lake, you can't go on YouTube and tell this story. There's so many people living in their basements that will just come at you, brah, for telling this story. I thought, well, just gotta suck it up, take it. It's not like it doesn't happen on a daily basis. So it's funny. I was downtown the other day, getting some dinner and just small talking with some guys, and we were talking about football, and it came up about a journeyman, the guys that really come from out of nowhere and make it big. Like, and I told him that my favorite journeyman was Kurt Warner, the guy that was the quarterback for the St. Louis Rams back at the turn of the century. You know, he played in the Canadian leagues there for a while. Nobody wanted him. He came over to St. Louis, I think, as a 3rd-string quarterback, and then 2 guys in front of him got hurt, and then he took the Rams to the Super Bowl and won it, and took them back the next year, but wasn't allowed to play because the 1st stringer was healthy now, and the owners made the coach put him in, and the Rams lost. But it's like that. I thought, well, that guy was amazing. He was my favorite. And one of the guys hanging out there said, oh, yeah, well, if all I had to do was throw the ball to Isaac Brook and hand it off to Marshall Falk, I would be a great journeyman too. And I said, oh, so who'd you play for? And he's like, huh? What? I said, well, you're just making it sound like Kurt Warner didn't accomplish anything. You know, as a Super Bowl victorious, 2-time Super Bowl going twice. He did some pretty great things, and you're making it sound like they're nothing. And I'm curious which NFL team you played for and which Super Bowl you were in. Well, dude got pissed, because how dare I ask this guy that question? He's supposed to be able to just degrade and minimize the accomplishments of other people who have actually put themselves out there, taken a chance, and achieved something in their lives. Well, he shut up. He didn't say another word. I finished up, and it's like, man, I was reminded why I just don't do that whole social setting thing in the first place. The only reason I've been going out for dinner a couple times a week, of course, is because of my beautiful bride, Dearly, a.k.a. Giggly Girl, and our son is still stuck in the Philippines. By the way, they're fine. There was a volcanic eruption over there, and everybody's messaging, oh, where's your baby? No, they're fine. Actually, last week, when they got back to Luzon from down in Mindanao, they went and had lunch where that volcano is, because it's a very beautiful part of Luzon, and Dearly sent me pictures of it. It's a great place, but they're fine. She said that they can see some of the smoke from out of the windows where they are. This place is 45 miles south of where they are, and they're just being told to stay inside, but as you know, they're on quarantine anyway because my son tested positive for you know what. So they're fine. But now, back to this pterodactyl thing and this portal thing. A lot of folks have often said, you know, you need to watch a particular channel. This guy's got a theory, and I have watched it. But there's this guy that has a particular theory about how these strange things happen around water, and when there's like some sort of odd weather event. And what I'll tell you is about those pictures yesterday. Well, of course, they were taken right over my pond, which is filled up with water. And there's a stream that comes off the mountain above where you saw that thing flying that feeds the pond. And within minutes of me taking, not even minutes, within seconds of me taking that final picture, we started getting some lightning and some thunder. And we had a storm come. And I actually got some footage of the storm, but I deleted it. But here's my take on it. Let's talk about these portals, because a lot of folks have mentioned just right here, man, I wish I had my red circle, because that's not potentially, you know, the hearing mechanism, the communication system for the ultimate contraction. That's it right there. And a lot of folks think there's a portal right here, and this is what we've set up to communicate with him, her, it, or they, in our best efforts, our best attempts to do so. But I was thinking about lightning and thunder and portals. You know, I know a little bit about science. Do you know what thunder is? Thunder is caused by the atmosphere pounding back together to close a vacuum that is created by lightning. Lightning is just positively charged ions bouncing around in the upper atmosphere. It's like little electric charges. And once they build up, enough of those combine, they'll create lightning. And the lightning basically rips through the atmosphere and creates a vacuum. And then as the atmosphere comes back together behind it, causes that crash of thunder. So if there's a vacuum there, the atmosphere has been split completely open. Could this not present the perfect opportunity for a portal to be at that location, and for him, her, it, or they, or prehistoric pterodactyls, or anything else, things demonic in nature, things otherworldly, things other dimensionally, can just come right through those portals created by the vacuums created by lightning, come in and out of our world before that collapse of thunder comes along and closes that vacuum and potentially that portal within that vacuum up? I'd be curious as to how often sightings of anything odd, any sort of abnormalities, take place only minutes before or after a thunder and lightning storm. And according to the one guy in his theory, it happens quite a bit. Is that why we just captured potentially this prehistoric creature, which could have been a pterodactyl, you know, on film there in the way of photographs? I don't know. But that's what happened. I wanted to share that with you. And by the way, update on the Lunatic print editions, autograph. They sold out the first night. That video came out 6:45 Eastern. By the time I woke up the next morning, every copy that was on Etsy was gone. I'm mentioning that because a lot of people have been messaging on Etsy saying, are you going to get more? I've ordered more. I've got 25 more coming. I actually had 25. I thought I only had 20. So there's actually a couple on there, unless they've sold out by now. But there's more coming. And this is TMI, too much information for you, but this is how selling stuff on the internet works. It's really weird. Okay, if I order 20 or 25 books and I list them on Etsy, they'll sell out overnight. But if I order 100 books and I list them on Etsy, 12 or 15 will sell, and then 70 people will put a copy in their cart, and the rest will just sit there. It's really strange. So that's why I order in 20 or 25 at a time. Because, you know, I'm buying these things, and while they're sitting in your cart, they're actually sitting in a box underneath the bed in my office, taking up space. So I don't know. Again, that's TMI. But so we got another 25 coming in. It might take them a week to get here, but I'll make sure to mention it to you when they get here. And they sell out overnight, then I'll order 25 more or something like that. So anyway, thanks for being here with me for another episode of the PBS. The potential Bigfoot Sasquatch show.